What's up, people? We are back with another walking outside, raw, uncut kind of vlog. I've finally committed to this being like the third leg of my channel, which feels really cool, feels very exciting because I've always liked making these types of videos, but recently I've got some good reassurance from some online friends and some good signs from the external and from the universe that this is like the last little bit of material that I feel like I'm supposed to be bringing to the channel. So it's super cool and we're committing to it. But yeah, today's video is kind of gonna be involving that as a topic. And before we jump into that, I wanted to share with you guys that, you know, if you're anything like me or if you know me, then you know that when I'm committed on something, I like to jump in like full send, you know? So I decided, I was like, okay, I'm going to ask ChatGPT to try and create some names for me so that way I can know what to call this, or I can know how to introduce this video. So I was kind of prompting it, telling it what I'm doing, telling the type of video that I'm making, and it was telling me, oh yeah, like you could name this like a cam on cam, or you can name it like cam is rolling or something like that. It was trying to do a couple plays off my names. So far I don't feel like I found one that's stuck, so I will go ahead and leave the comments open. If you feel like you have any suggestions, go ahead and drop them down below because I could definitely use them. The idea of a walk and talk video, I love, you know, the simplicity of that, but it also feels like there's a lot of pressure to constantly be walking. And I thought to myself, well, what if I'm not walking one day? What if I'm eating some food or something like that? Because, you know, I do that. I love eating and I love traveling. Or what if I'm like smoking a cigar or like just chilling on the beach or something? Like, it doesn't feel like it quite locks it in. So I'll leave that up to you guys. But yeah, today's video, I think I am going to go ahead and dive into my main topic of like, post your content and trust the process, and trust that you making what you want to make is what you're supposed to be doing. That's a very hard thing to do, and I know this because I've been on a creative journey for quite a while now. I have also witnessed other people's creative journeys in multiple various different stages, and on paper, or when it's spoken to you, it sounds like a very simple principle, but I can tell you wholeheartedly from personal experience and from watching others, it is not. This in particular, what we're doing right here, this raw walk and talk style vlog, I've always loved doing this. I literally started my channel doing this style of vlog, and it's sprinkled throughout all my travel videos, throughout all my food videos, all that stuff. I've loved kind of like a raw, organic feeling vlog. I originally started my vlog because I was watching a vlogger called Harold Balder. Harold Balder, I don't really know. But yeah, Harold has literally like, at the time I think he had like under 1 million. It's been a while, but he's grown tremendously on YouTube. He has like probably close to 3 million subs now. And he does exactly this. He literally will post like 30, 45 minute, now I think I've seen ones that are even like over an hour long vlogs of just him walking through different places that he travels around the world, trying different experiences and stuff like that, going into markets, tasting different foods, you know, staying with a local guide or something like that. And it's exactly like this. It is raw, it is uncut, well, kind of cut, but you know, it's not like super fancy edits or highly produced or anything. It's just him rolling around with an action camera doing his stuff, and it's so wildly successful, and I love the idea of it. I think the reason why I loved the idea of it and why I fell in love with it almost immediately when I first saw it is because as a videographer, you, especially one that works full-time, like I do this full-time, I run my own production company, all that stuff, you get very, very caught up in like the day-to-day, making high-quality videos, making, you know, super demanding edits and stuff like that, having to lug out expensive gear and set that stuff up. Like, it can get a little exhausting, you know. I love it, I would never trade it, but it definitely is a craft and a process. And when it comes to creating for fun, at least, it's just not something that you always want to do, you know? It can really take away the like spark of creating a YouTube video or your will to want to do that stuff. So seeing this dude go around and just capture, you know, his crazy awesome adventures and stuff like that on an action camera, so raw and uncut and organic, was so much fun and so refreshing, because it literally gave me exactly what I was looking for. It was someone just out there living life, making videos, having fun, and using the simplest of gear to do so, you know? And there was no like friction, nothing blocking him from doing so. He was just doing it, and it was awesome. Like, so many people enjoyed it and loved it, and I was like, yeah, man, like that's what I want to make. So that's what I did. But the problem is that I quickly found out I didn't really have anyone in my immediate circle that felt that same way. Now, I will clarify, it's not that people didn't support me or didn't like my videos. My friends and my family were definitely supportive. They would watch my stuff, they'd comment on it, they'd share it. They still do that, you know? So it's not that I was like just kind of like out here on my lonely and stuff like that. But it definitely was like, it left me with a feeling of like, okay, like, am I just like an oddball, you know? Because like I see him doing it, but like it doesn't feel like it's like doing, you know, working the same way for me. And like there is definitely a part of you that when you create videos and when you create content, like you're doing it for you, you know? You're doing it because you enjoy it and it's something that you like doing. But there's also a part of you that wants to share that enjoyment, and that wants to at least connect with others that share that enjoyment as well. Not necessarily for the sake of like, you know, getting 1 million subs or whatever. Like, I'm sure that's nice, of course, but it's mainly just to like I said, share that enjoyment of it. So that was kind of like my friction point, was like I was doing my stuff, but I didn't feel like it was really like connecting with anyone else. And then what's more is that when I started doing other things that were like more mainstream or trendy or whatever, that stuff started to connect. So I was stuck between a rock and a hard place of like, man, the stuff that I like to create and that I like to do feels boring, and it doesn't feel like anybody cares about it. And you know, I like making it, but if I'm spending my time making stuff and sharing and I want other people to, you know, enjoy it as well, then I kind of feel like I'm like on the outskirts a little bit. So yeah, that really tested me over time. And eventually I kind of reached a point where I was just kind of like, you know what, like it's cool, it was fun vlogging, but you know, maybe I'll just stick to doing the other things. Since when I want to do those things and when I want to grow on YouTube and I like connecting with people and sharing that experience, that's the things they seem to resonate with. And right as I was about to kind of, you know, branch off in a different direction, I had locked in travel, I had locked in food, and like I still love to do those no matter what. Everybody loves travel and food. But right as I was about to branch in a different direction, I stumbled upon another vlogger named Chris. And y'all all know Chris. I shouted him out in my last video. If you haven't had a chance to check out his channel, definitely go check out my man Chris. Super dope guy, super genuine, and his walk and talks and just his content and discussion in general is so enjoyable to watch. You definitely want to go check him out. But yeah, Chris was the first person that I had seen in over 6 years of doing YouTube and making content and doing my stuff, who was doing the same style besides Harold. And what's more is that not only was he the first person that I'd seen in over 6 years of doing that, Chris was also the first person to genuinely interact back and actually say, yo man, like, you know, like I hear you on this, or like, yo, we are the same in this, and blah, blah, blah. And that, in my opinion, lit like a little spark, which was so cool. It only takes one person, one thing to shift and make that difference. So if you're watching this and if you've made it this far, I'm hoping that I can be that person for someone else, like Chris was for me, and like all the other people that I'm about to name real quick. But yeah, Chris was like that first person I'd seen doing that stuff, had those same interests, and also actually interacted and responded back. And yeah, the rest just kind of unfolded from there. we bantered back and forth and stuff on his videos. And at the time I just wasn't really creating those style videos. I was just enjoying watching him create them. Because I was like, man, this is cool to find someone else doing the style that I like. And then finally, something just pinged me and I was like, I'm gonna try it out. Why not? And when I did, I was also introduced to another one of the cool creators on the internet and on that little circle right there, named Luis. And Luis is also such a dope guy, so organic, so genuine, so down to earth in his content. Like I said, if you haven't gotten a chance to check out Luis, please go check out his stuff and support him, because he's another one that, in my opinion, these two guys single-handedly helped save this being like the third leg of my channel. I was gonna go off and try and find something else to plug in here that probably wasn't going to work because it wasn't authentic to me. It wasn't something that I really enjoyed doing. But these two guys, just from being themselves, being genuine and creating content that I thought was just a single cam obsession, and then still being as open as they were to like support and, you know, interact with my stuff to prove to me that it wasn't just me, it really makes all the difference. So you really, kind of circling back to that main point, you have to trust the process, because like I mentioned, it is 6 years 6 years, bro, of creating this stuff. And I didn't really factor that in. It didn't really take much gravity until YouTube reminded me the other day that my channel was turning 6 years old. And I'm not really, you know, I wasn't really pursuing YouTube heavily like that. I was just making videos as I went on travels and stuff like that. So the time passed pretty quickly, but 6 years of making the style video that I like to make, and I am just now getting a little community of people that are interested in my stuff. Chris literally shouted me and a bunch of other creators that are similar to this stuff out in a video, essentially kind of connecting us, which I thought was so cool of him. Thanks again for that, Chris. And literally off that one walk and talk video that I did the other day, and Chris's shout out, I gained, and Luis's shout out actually, he shouted me out as well. I gained 20 subs. Now, 20 subs isn't the most that I've gained in one jump from posting content. I've had reels boost me 40 subs and stuff like that. I have like a little vlog reel of me and my family at the Ohio State Fair eating crazy like state fair foods and stuff like that. Like it was like pickle gummy bears and, you know, crazy stuff. That one got like 14,000 views and jumped me 40 subs. But these 20 subs in particular, these ones that I gained from that exact action of posting the video and those interactions with Chris and Luis and all those other creators and stuff like that, meant so much more, because they felt like they were people that I was supposed to connect with and that I was supposed to link up with, and like that were essentially supposed to see my content, you know. So yeah, that's kind of the move. That's kind of the you know, mindset going forward for this stuff. I feel like I mentioned earlier, it only takes one person. It only takes one interaction, one video, one little sign of proof to course correct someone or change someone's course for, you know, the better. So I'm hoping, like I mentioned earlier, that if you are someone who has like, you know, your style of vlogging or your style of creating content, stuff like that, and you're just unsure about it, I'm hoping that you can see this, and even if this style of content isn't your jive, if this isn't your, you know, your go-to, and you like to make something different, just know that it's like, dude, it really is what you're supposed to be doing. You know, that's your thing. If you like it and it makes you feel good and it gives you that like that like fire and light up inside, that's what you're supposed to be doing. So keep doing it, because it's gonna find the right people. It may take a little while, it may happen overnight, it may happen in 6 years, like mine is happening right now, but I'm telling you, it will happen. And when it does, bruh, I'm telling you, it literally felt like a home run. Like when I signed into YouTube and I saw those notifications, and I could see the people being like, yo, I watched this video of yours, man. I love this part when this happened. Or like, yo, man, just subbed, checking out your series here. And like, you can tell that they're actually watching your stuff and checking you out. And, you know, like legitimately just like seeing you. That was dope. I'm telling you, it's worth it. So like, just keep doing your stuff, and yeah, I can't wait for your moment, man. But I think that's it. That's pretty much everything. This was just supposed to be a little friendly pick-me-up vlog, a little friendly inspirational vlog, because I definitely had a win with finding the first little people of my community through, you know, Chris and Luis and a couple other people who were super nice and supportive. So that felt really dope, and I wanted to share it and hopefully pass this along to someone else to make someone else's day. So I guess with that, here we go. Let's roll the outro. Let's see if I can get it, if I'm not practiced enough. I guess with that, we will go ahead and close off this video. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate y'all so much. If you feel so inclined, go ahead and hit that subscribe and like and comment down below. God dang it. All right, we still need to practice with that, whatever. Anyways, yeah, I appreciate y'all for watching. I bid you all adieu, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.